Once again, we've got to get this in. Gursimran, you tweeted through your pregnancy.
Yes.
You actually tweet through your pregnancy. She was in labor and tweeting till the last moment?
Yes, yes.
Till the baby came out?
Yes, yes.
Don't lie.
No, not till the... I would have, had they not sedated me, I would have attempted to.
So what's the baby called? Twit?
No, but her name does come off somebody's recommendation on Twitter, which is something memorable still. First of all, to you, I'd like to say that for people like us who use Facebook and Twitter, we say we have time for nothing else.
I know, I'm sure. It's a drug.
But you've got to tell me about this tweeting through your pregnancy. Why? Who were you communicating this to? Was it meant for friends? Was it meant to... Because I want to come back to this question that's raised. Have we become a society of voyeurs and exhibitionists? You know, people are sharing some of their most intimate things to an abstract audience out there. So why did you decide to tweet through this experience of being a mom?
For me, it wasn't a different experience from other things that I tweet. At least, well, it's far better than tweeting every time I take a toilet break.
Okay, yeah. That's too much detail.
Yes, yes.
Right.
Well, the first thing was that there were a couple of complications that I needed help on, and I wasn't sure if it was something that I needed to call my gynac on. So I figured I'll just throw it out there and see how it happens. And I actually had gynacs direct message me back and try to help me and try to get me through. I had mothers who had gone through similar things. There were reassurances, there were prayers, and those people are also my family, even if we're virtual. You know, they are my family. My mum couldn't be there at that time physically, but there were thousands
What about
of
the
people.
weirdos online?
I'm a weirdo online. I'm proud of it.
No, weirdo not in the sense of eccentric, but like abusive people, people who will, especially with women, you put out a post like this, will get in there and say something crappy to you.
That you'd be surprised, but that rarely ever happens. I think people have excellent etiquettes online.
Are you serious? What are you saying?
No, you get the abusive treater.
Yeah, come on.
I guess maybe being a celebrity for an attention, they do that, but usually people don't, because they know if they do that, they'd be blocked and they'd be debarred from the online world. Why would somebody want to risk it if they are serious about being online as much?
All right, so interesting point there that well-known people, public people have it tougher in the online world. Isn't a little bit about being there, the conduct of being able to say something to someone perceived as powerful. I mean, there is also that whole great leveling experience. I want to introduce Shahana now. Now, Shahana wrote a blog post as the real Madrasan. That's what she called herself. I mean, she's Shahana, but she called herself the real Madrasan. And wrote also an open letter. It was called an open letter to a Delhi boy. And in short, it was basically a rant against the lack of good taste in Punjabi men in more ways than one, right? and it was an instant, like to borrow the lingo of the online world, it went viral. Everybody was talking about it. What made you do it? Because I read one of your posts and you said blogging for you was like actually venting, giving force to opinions that you may not even believe in yourself. Why is that so important for today's generation?
A blog is where you write what you want. Just whatever you want, thoughts, rants, you know, anything you'd... And the open letter for me is the way I think any girl would vent about a boy to her girlfriends. I don't think any woman in this audience can very confidently say that they won't say that.
How was the reaction? What was the reaction like?
Oh, where do I start? Okay. Surprisingly, I'm called a Delhi blogger, and nor did I start that blog in Delhi, or even the post wasn't written here. And I was here during the week where it went completely viral. By the time I reached Delhi, I got about 500 odd comments.
But happy comments, supportive comments, threatening comments, abusive, all?
All.
And how did you deal with the really vitriolic ones? Did it unnerve you at some point?
I didn't read all of them. No one has the time. I don't have the time to read a comment which is this long. It's longer than my post. Why?
But then it's actually funny because it's supposed to be a bilateral form of communication, but I guess then social networks are becoming more unilateral.
No, but what do you do when people write junk?
The thing is,
there are people who write junk.
Well, you reply to it just as you have the power to say what you want.
I'd like to add
anybody else, and if you disagree, then you make the effort and make them think differently.
Quickly, I'm going to go back to the politicians now.
Okay. Yeah. The thing is,
Quietly, they are being educated.
You're like Sir Aldous Huxley, Brave New World is playing out here. Both of you have that expression.
I was going to add to what this lady said. You know, also think about this. Vicarious pleasures of she was tweeting through her pregnancy. Next week there is a creative artist in Brooklyn who is actually going live on YouTube as a creative art with the delivery of her baby. I mean, what next? So I mean, you should get more? Are you going to try and do that next time? Like the lady in Brooklyn?
My doctor says I'm done, but now I feel sorry that I am. I could have stopped that, yes.
Okay.
But is there a deeper, do you want to say, I'll come back to Shana, but do you want to say anything to the political point being made here? Do you feel our politicians are behind the curve?
Yes, the one thing that I would like to disagree with is where you say there are many Indias and, you know, maybe Twitter is an elitist space. Well, let's understand, you know, like ma'am said, that 90% of the people are students, are young people. They are the people who have the power to change everything else. So if you can tap into that communication medium...
I agree with you, because I think 5 months ago, in the way we handled the Bengal elections, where we did so well and the communists knocked out, we were far superior in this space in terms of Twitter, Facebook. We were blogging, we were having tweet ups, we were far superior.
You think
I'm not for a moment suggesting that is the only reason it happened, but I'm saying certainly it was part of the 360 degrees. You still had to go and address those big rallies with 30,000-40,000 people.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, if Shashi Tharoor's cattle class comment had taken place today, would the reaction have been different? Was he just ahead of the curve? Chandan doesn't think so. Also, the first foreign secretary to get on to Twitter, who's now, of course, India's ambassador to the United States of America, Nirupama Rao, she'll be on the program talking about her Twitter experience, and we'll open it up to the audience and ask them, what's the weirdest thing that's happened to you on Twitter? I'm sure those who are not online would like to hear that. Coming up after a break. Welcome back. You're watching We the Tweeple. We're looking at the explosive world of social media networks, in particular Twitter. Before we return to our panel, let's get some comments from the audience. Go ahead.
We have a population of 1.21 billion and the internet penetration is just 4% of it. So how do we see a huge political transformation through this media?
Kabir, you want to take it?
I think the numbers will speak for themselves. Already, despite India's backwardness, despite the lack of penetration, India is the third largest social networking site in the world. If you look at China, which has many similarities with India, they have social networks that have subscribers in excess of 600-700 million people.
So you're saying the numbers are so big that even
numbers are going to change the game as far as politics is concerned.
And I think the second big changer which I made, this is going to change those numbers, is once this becomes regional language, so
then
you can't wait for it to become regional. You've got to be in there as an early player and then...
Chandan, when that happens, could you keep away? Could you keep yourself away?
No, I'm not saying, I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to stay away permanently. I'm just delaying the inevitable.
Delaying the inevitable. All right, a question here.
We live in an illusional world. It seems that we're connected to everyone, but by the end of the day, there's a void, you know, that these social networks cannot fill up. And plus, it gives people the space to be manipulative. It's different from talking to them one-to-one on phone.
Amit, do you want to take it?
I actually agree with that. You know, I cannot imagine anyone using a forum like Facebook to reveal their innermost details.
But they do. But people do. People talk about deaths in their family. They discuss their pregnancy, their thoughts on love.
Do you? No. Absolutely not. That's my point. Do you, Derek? But no, what I'm saying is that
whole new communities are being born.
No, I agree. You see, as a forum for communication, it's fine. But as a forum to reveal yourself in the nude, it's crazy.
But you can choose who to talk to also. You can make your own circles of people.
Chandan,
I think there are two classes of people who use the social media. One who have a genuine need to connect, who probably don't have enough friends, who find it difficult to communicate. But you know, people who are well known, I shall refrain from using the term celebrity.
Well-known public figures.
They have to be so careful.
Of course.
You cannot afford to let your hair down.
Well, you know, actually someone had a question on that,
making comments.
on the fact that public people actually can't be themselves. That was your...
Given the kind of political correctness that is required for people to be on microblogging sites, does it still continue to be the medium it was initially meant to be?
I think that's a great question. Who wants to take that? The fact, you want to take that? Because you walk around the room how many times? 5 minutes.
No, the serious point. Twitter cannot be your instant quick solution to everything. So when someone tweets you as a politician, you can't expect, that person should not expect an answer immediately. The second, urban loneliness, yes. There's a lady whose name I shall not mention. She's single. At 3 o'clock in the morning, tweet goes out, I am ready for you. Come on now. Now, this is an established...
what did you tweet back?
I'll tell you what I did. I'll tell you, honestly, I'll tell you what I did. Honestly, I'll tell you what I did. I sent her a direct message saying that was too provocative.
Derek, you square middle class boy. Alright, okay.
I'm ready for
Okay.
I am sure he's lying.
You're sure he's lying? Yeah, so am I.
absolutely right.
Chandan, you're saying if you got such messages, you might join Twitter?
No, I'm very impressed. Derek has admitted that he lied. Obviously, he said something else which he's not revealing here.
All right, question here.
Why is it all about politicians and famous people? We ordinary people are having a ball. Are really enjoying ourselves. I'm a housewife. I'm 46 years old. I have 2 boys.
What do you message at 3 in the morning?
No,
tell us more,
I have found friends. I have formed an alumni which our school never had. Suddenly people have started knowing me, which is great for me, because my kids have started saying that, okay, mom can do something, you know.
So you find it empowering?
Absolutely.
Okay, so just give your number to Derek before you
But just to, Rukmini, sorry, you want to make a point to the loneliness.
There's a recent, this is my professorial hat. Somebody has recently written a book on Facebook and Twitter, and he suggests that people think that Twitter is a really radical going out there medium, and so is Facebook, but in fact it's the exact opposite, and what these social media are doing is to respond to the conditions of loneliness which we faced earlier with television, forgive me, coming one way in one direction and so on. And now what has happened, and his study is based in Trinidad, so it's not just in America or something, and he suggests that this is really our attempt to rebuild communities, share things and so on. But the point I'd like to make is that Twitter, Twitter is all about friends. It is not like a family. Even if people say it's a family, there is no hierarchy, there are no parents, there are no children, there are no grandparents. This is a defriending, unfriending, leveling universe, and that in itself is very, very important.
I want to ask you something about the whole business of being anonymous online. And did you ever think of, when you wrote at the Real Madrasan, did you also write your real name alongside it?
Actually, I wasn't always the Real Madrasan. My Twitter handle was something else earlier.
What was that called?
Broken Morning. It's after Cat Stevens Morning.
Broken Morning.
It's after my favorite Cat Stevens song. Anyway, so I wrote, and there it said Shahana Nair Joshi. My name was there.
So you weren't hiding your identity?
Absolutely.
But many people do. Does that bother you?
See, as I said earlier, I'm not very active. Yeah, Twitter, because the only reason being that the anonymity just gets to me at times. Because,
So you've got people, I don't know, it can be anything, tweetlets at whatever, or some really goofy names, and you're writing actually to a disembodied, anonymous somebody. You have no idea whether this person is man, woman sometimes, who they are. They could be an online stalker, they could be anybody. Does that ever bother you when people don't reveal their identities?
Isn't that wonderful, Bagha, that you could say whatever you want without somebody judging you for it?
No, but why can't you say it as who you are? If it's so empowering, I
feel bad for all the people here who are so well known.
You feel that you get judged a lot in the online world?
I feel bad for people who are so well known that they can't be their real selves, at least in the online world. I think in real life, in itself, we are fake enough with the people around us. That is at least one medium where we can be ourselves.
It may be a good idea for politicians who want to vent their real feelings to take on an anonymous